What a majestic animal. What a majestic animal. So beautifully made. And if you kind of squint your eye a little bit, uh, you can think you're looking at the back end with the tail and he's leaving you. Yeah, if you fall off and you can't see this clearly, you would think it's a big, big animal who's leaving you, but he's coming to you. That's not his tail, that's his trunk, which is his trumpet. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is, let's say, Staying in the Light channel for the day. For this episode, we're going to say it's Staying in the Light. I hope y'all having dreams. Dreams are very important. It helps you resolve things in the unseen that take place in the physical. Things in your past and things in your future and things in the unseen. Because we're living in another existence as simultaneously we're living in another existence. Some people call it the parallel universe. I found out there's certain things I have to do to make sure I have my dreams. And I've tried them. It's not taking anything. It's really is about where you sleep, your position of sleeping, the things you do before going to sleep. It's about honoring everything. When you honor everything, then you have the dreams you need to resolve things. I was in a group chat and I was talking to his people about paying hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, getting relief from paying hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan because of the knowledge that was taught to me. I was just sharing it to kind of give a boost to the brother. I usually don't share too much about my personal situation, but I was trying to uh, give encouragement to others to stay with this brother because he really does deliver. And I'm sharing this. I'm sharing this because it's a thought. It must be shared. We don't hide anything here. We stay in the light. And some of the group may be here, so I just want to let y'all know the fullness of that idea. Yes, he does provide relief. However, if you notice when I made that statement, he said, well, I had a trust provided for me. I didn't need to get any student loans. My my parents made sure I didn't have to go through that. That's what he was saying. Okay, I'm going to enlighten y'all about me. I had that too. It wasn't. I don't know if it was like a trust, but I had relatives who was on that rich side and was paying all my fees when I first started in school. When I got my scholarship from high school, they was paying all my fees. I didn't have to pay anything, but I didn't want that. Actually, I kind of found out they were being paid. There was no discussion with me about it. Of course, I was living in another city then. Remember, I left my rich side to go to my I left a rich dad to go to the poor dad. I did the other way that Robert Kiyosaki did it. He left the poor dad and went to the rich dad. I left the rich dad to the poor dad. Symbolically speaking, it wasn't a dad. I was living with the rich people of my family, and I went to the poor side because there was more joy, more family, more happiness on that side than it was on the rich side. And I made this decision. I was about 13 or 14. So that was struggle on the poor side. And you had to develop your character on the poor side, so to speak. For lack of a better word, I say poor side. Nothing was given to you. You had to work for what you wanted. That's what I wanted in life. I didn't want something given to me. And like I said, when I went to college, found out my my school fee was being paid. It kind of took the joy out of me doing things for myself. Because that's why I left, to do things for myself. I left. That's when I left. Lost interest in college. And I'm just remembering now because these things happened 50, 60 years ago, and I didn't have a clear idea of what was going on. But just for the record, for my record, because I go back and listen to my podcasts because I get a lot of information from them. May not benefit you, but it benefit me. And yeah, I go back and listen and receive more than you do. It may help some of you, it may not. So that's a hint for you. If you want to start remembering things, just start talking about them, record them. You don't have to put them on YouTube, show off like I do, but you may help somebody else who may have similar problems. So the point being made is that I didn't broadcast the idea that I already had help and I refused it. So which ones develop character more? Because I see people who have that silver spoon, they don't have any character. They do not have real character. People can't work. You can look if you can't really work with anybody. Uh, that's something wrong with you. It's not wrong with the people. I'm talking to myself. I'm not talking to anybody else because I know the work I had to do on myself. That's why I chose the poor dad side because I knew how it would develop me into the character that I wanted to be. When I was on the rich dad side, man, I did all kind of stuff, developed all kind of bad habits. That's because being privileged, I feel like I can get away with stuff. That's what happened on the rich dad side. You develop a arrogance, feeling privileged that you can do things and get away with it. Yeah, that's why I left because I knew it was taking me to a bad place. So I'm not saying who's better, what side is better. You make the choice yourself. But yes, I had $100,000 debt that the brother helped me relieve. But it was my choice to work and pay it. It's my choice to go to school and pay the debt. There was a choice of it being paid. by my family, but I rejected that choice because I wanted to be independent, even at a very early age. I won't say as a trust setup, but they were making sure everything in my schooling was taken care of. I wanted the experience of doing things for myself. And that's the tradition we have as Moors. There was always an opportunity for the young man to make a name for himself outside of his family name. I'm remembering because this elephant really makes my memory active. I'm remembering things in my dreams now just by looking at this image of how we operated as a tribe, how we operate as a family. The boys, the men were always chosen for high. In other words, when you were developed as a youth, you had all kind of training you had to go through, and you see which ones you liked, what discipline you liked of all you was taught, and that's the one you chose. Whether it was military, military science, organic science, engineering, building, agricultural. There were so many things to choose from. However, we were exposed to all of them. And some of them you had talents in, and them the ones you chose. And since the schools were our own schools, you use your skills in your family, your tribe. You didn't go and work, sell your soul to somebody else. That's slavery. They told you slave was being in chains. No, you can be out of chains. You don't have to be in chains to be in slavery. But if you got to work outside of your family, that's slavery. And some of the Moors early on did that. Yeah, they just sold out themselves because they wanted uh, they just loved these people. They wanted to be around them. They trusted them. That's how they got us. By working for them, you sold out your soul. Well, I continue remembering and bringing to you all what I remember to the family and for those who are following the family